Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm bringing you guys another video on a new PC build for Fortnite. This is featuring the new $7 CPU. It's not really new, it's actually a really old CPU, 9 years old to be exact, which is crazy for a CPU. But being 9 years old, it still offers a lot of great aspects to it. It's a Xeon processor from Intel, obviously. First of all, you're going to have that Intel experience, which is always better than AMD, let's be honest. It's a quad-core processor, so again, for $7, you're getting 4 cores, and base clock is 2.4 gigahertz, and you can actually overclock this pretty high. I've seen people go up to 3.4, so that's a whole gigahertz above. And if you have a better cooler, depending, you can go much higher. So for $7, you literally can't go wrong. This is the best budget CPU right now. So this is on Aliexpress, by the way. A lot of people think this website's a scam. For certain stuff it is, but for this it isn't. There are many reviews about this CPU. You can just look into it on your own if you want. So a motherboard to complement that CPU is the Asus P7H55 motherboard. This is a desktop motherboard. The socket is obviously the same, LGA 1156, and this supports DDR3 RAM, so you don't have to go with the new DDR4 RAM, which is insanely expensive. This is much cheaper than the DDR4 RAM. It does support only 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is like, I think that's like the max you would need. I really doubt you need more than $32, especially on a $7 CPU. So pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's just a normal motherboard. Next, for the GPU, is the GT 1030 2GB graphics card from Asus. This can vary depending on when it is. This is on Newegg right now, and this deal could end. It's $80 here on Newegg with free shipping. And yeah, so I mean, what more can you say? It's $80 for a GT 1030. This is a great budget GPU. This is probably the minimum I would go. I wouldn't go anything under than this. Next, for the RAM, we're going with some Corsair 4GB DDR3, obviously because of the motherboard RAM. It's kind of slow on the megahertz side. It's only 1333 megahertz, but for this type of build, you really don't need anything too fast. And I do have 2 selected, obviously, because we want that 8 gigabytes. 8 gigabytes is like fairly standard. That's like the minimum you should get for gaming these days. Everything runs a lot better, and the computer itself will run a lot smoother with 8 gigabytes. Next, for the cooler, since this CPU, the budget CPU we're getting, doesn't come with its own cooler, you have to get a cooler. I chose this one, the Arctic Alpine 11 GT Rev 2 CPU cooler. This is for Intel, again for the same socket. You have to make sure that so it actually fits on the motherboard. It's only $6.50. This is also a really budget one, but this is much quieter and much better, obviously. It keeps the CPU a lot cooler, and you're able to actually overclock a little bit with this. And I've seen a lot of reviews about saying that this is pretty quiet compared to most of the default ones that come with the Intel CPUs. So next, for the power supply, I went with a EVGA 400 watt ATX power supply. It's just fairly standard. It's $27.99 on superbiz.com. It's an EVGA, it's 400 watts, and it's pretty reliable. EVGA is a pretty good brand when it comes to power supplies, so I would trust it, and it's under $30, so you can't really go wrong. Next, for the storage, I went with a hard drive, mechanical. Obviously, for this price point, you don't want any SSDs. It's gonna break your budget. This is only $18.80, so again, under $20. It's not 500 gigabytes, so that's the only downside. I'm sure if you just want to pay like maybe like $5 more, $10 more, you have the extra money, you can get a 500 gigabyte one. Or if you want, you could pay the $40 and get the 1 terabyte. This is 320 gigabytes, which I think is more than enough, to be honest with you. Unless if you know you're going to be downloading a lot of games. So yeah. Next is the case. It's $25, and it's a case. I don't know. It's got a window panel on the side, and it just looks really clean. You can look for yourself in the link below. But this is the point where it's really customizable by you. It's really on your opinion, as long as you keep the price. Unless you want to pay a little bit more for something you want, it really doesn't matter, since it doesn't provide any difference. So yeah, guys, on this PC you can expect around 65 FPS average on medium while playing at 1080p. If you bump down to low 1080p, you should average 75 to 80 depending on what you're doing and what you're looking at in the game, of course. And What I would personally do on this PC is I would bump it down to 720p all low settings, and you would average around 90 to 100 FPS, again depending on where you're looking. So the FPS on this PC is great. It's really whatever you need. You don't really need much more than 100. So yeah guys, at the time of this recording, this PC is $303 right now. I know the last PC that I did, the last budget Fortnite gaming PC I did, is much over the $300 now. It's like almost $400 now or something. So I wanted to make something new, and I really wanted to feature this CPU. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please drop a like, drop any comments if you have any questions or if you want to ask something. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video.